to my channel. My name is Willow Rose Moon Dancer, and today we're going to cook. I have gotten a request to make my famous Maple Curry Chicken Penne pasta, and so that is what we're going to be doing today. Sorry if there's any background noise since I'm in the kitchen. My cats are around and they are noisy most of the time. So hopefully they will give us some peace and quiet, but don't get your hopes up. So first things first, I used to use a recipe that I found on Pinterest. However, I went to go find it again because usually I just kind of like half-ass make it. I don't actually follow the recipe. But for you guys, I wanted to follow the recipe. But I could not find it. I don't know why. So I used my memory and came up with something that sounds like what I usually make because I usually just throw it together without thinking about it. So hopefully it'll turn out as good as it usually is. It'll be enough information that you guys can make it at home. First, let's talk about ingredients and then we'll get into the cooking and all that jazz. So the first ingredient, the most important arguably, maple syrup. Now, you want to get real Canadian maple syrup. Table syrup is okay if you're really in a pinch, but it's not going to give you the same taste as proper maple syrup. And then you're also going to need curry. You can just get curry at any grocery store. We keep ours in like this little shaker, like so, and it just comes in a little bag. But yeah, so you're going to need curry. You're going to need either heavy cream or milk. Milk will make it a little bit runnier. You can counterbalance that runniness by putting in a little flour or cornstarch. We're going to be using cream though today. You also need butter or oil, just something to help fry things. You need vegetables. Most maple curry have onions in it and peppers. When I get maple curry at like a restaurant or whatever, sometimes they'll have zucchini in there and mushrooms and broccoli, that kind of stuff. I prefer to keep mine nice and simple because I'm here for the carbs, not for the veg. So I just stick with onion and peppers. And then you're also going to need chicken breast. Depending on how much you make is how much chicken breast you're going to need. Today I'm using 2. I think the recipe I used to follow said 4, but it's just however much chicken you want in there. It doesn't really matter. And then the last thing that you're going to need is noodles. It's penne. I use penne. If I'm in a pinch and I don't have penne, I like spaghetti or spaghettini. It all works. It's fine. Okay, so we've talked about all the ingredients, I think. I don't think I've missed anything. You can put any other seasonings you want in there, salt, pepper, typically, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, so let's get right into it. The first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to cut up my peppers and my onions. A lot of recipes will recommend that you start off by boiling the water, but I find that because when the sauce is cooking, you let it sit for so long to thicken up that you usually have enough time to start your pasta at around that point. Maybe you want to start just a little bit earlier when you're like putting in the maple syrup and stuff, but you can figure that out. One thing to keep in mind while I'm doing this is I'm terrible at cutting vegetables, so please have mercy on my soul. my vegetables are cut, I'm just going to slide them over into the pan, and then before I start sauteing the vegetables, I'm going to chop up the chicken because I'm not very good at multitasking in the kitchen, and I'm not great at sauteing and cutting at the same time. So we'll do that. Now I'm going to cut the chicken. One thing to remember is that the only reason why I'm reusing my knife and my cutting board is because I was cutting the vegetables first. However, if you're cutting the chicken first and then the vegetables, you need to get a new cutting board, a new knife, or clean them so you don't have to worry about like cross-contaminating anything. So now that we have cut everything up, I've tidied up the kitchen a bit with all of our scraps, we're going to get right into cooking. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to get a little bit of butter or oil, whichever one you have, and put it in the pan so we can saute up our veggies. We're going to turn the oven on to like, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 7 medium-ish temperatures. So my peppers and my onions have been cooking for a little while. The onions are starting to get soft. So I'm now going to add my chicken because my onions and my peppers will continue to cook while I'm cooking the chicken. I'm also going to turn the heat down to like maybe 5-ish, so closer to medium heat. While this continues to fry, I'm going to fill up my pot so I can start boiling my water. So now that the chicken is getting close to being done, I'm going to add my curry. You can really add as much curry as you want. I'm just going to shake it in with my shaker, but approximately like a few tablespoons worth. Butter while you're cooking if you feel that your pan is a little bit too dry. Doesn't do the trick for this meal. I would do about 1/3 of a cup to like half a cup, depending on how sweet you want your sauce to be. I'm just gonna do a teeny bit more. I did like 1/3 and then like a half of another third. So then you want to stir that around, let that sit in its juices for a few minutes. I'm going to let it get to a bit of a bubble. And then I'm going to add my cream, or if you have milk at this point, you can add milk. And then stir in a bit of cornstarch or flour if you find that it's too runny. And my carton's just about empty, so I'm just gonna dribble the rest out. There we go. And then you're going to stir that all together. So this is what you're working with. So at this point, I'm just going to let it come to a boil a little bit, and then I'm going to put a cover on it and let it simmer until my pasta's done. And then usually at about that point, it is thick enough to be a sauce. And even if it's a little bit runny, I've eaten it runny, it's still fantastic. If your pan doesn't have a cover, like mine doesn't have a cover, I use the cover of my wok because that's huge. If you don't have a wok, I've seen my friend use a cutting board, or you can put like a big baking sheet on top of it. You just kind of want to put something over it so it thickens up a bit better. But it's starting to boil up now, so I'm going to get my wok cover and stick her on top and let her simmer. And you're going to want to turn the heat down to about 3-ish on your oven. I don't know if all stoves work the same way, but when I've been saying numbers, I mean this. So when I was first sauteing, I had it up around here, and then when I put the chicken in, I moved it down to about here. And then now that it's simmering, I've moved it down to here. I might even move it a little bit closer to the 2 in a bit. I'm assuming all stoves are like this, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so all you have left to do right now is make the pasta. I'm still waiting for it to boil, but once it boils, I'm just gonna put the noodles in, and I will, make pasta the way everyone makes pasta. And yeah, while your sauce is cooking and simmering, if every, 5-ish minutes or so, you want to take the lid off and give it a quick stir just to make sure that the maple syrup isn't sticking or anything like that, then that's probably a pretty good idea too. But I'll make the pasta, and then I'll see you right back here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so sorry about the steam in front of our faces, but the pasta is cooked. For your knowledge, I made about 3/4 of this bag. It was already 1/4 empty. And now we're gonna pour in the sauce. So this is what the sauce is looking like. And we're just gonna pour her right in. I'm just going to get the wooden spoon that I used for the pasta, and I'm just going to stir it all up. And that's it. You can make this for supper. I'm personally going to use this as my lunches for the week. I'm going to put them in containers and eat it that way. But yeah, that's all. Sorry about the lighting right now. It got dark outside. But yeah, make sure you leave a like down below if you enjoyed a video like this. I'd be more than happy to do more cooking videos about little recipes that I've either made or enjoy. Make sure you check out my Instagram at Willow Rose Moon Dancer so you can stay up to date with me and my everyday life. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I make videos every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And until next time, blessed be.